we are going to be writing a letter today. So we need to have this paper that says a sweet little Valentine. There should be a sticker attached to it. I'm actually going to pull that off for now. We learned that we, when writing a letter, need to first write the date. So we're going to write the date at the top. So today is February 12th. So 1, 2, 2021. Okay, so go ahead and write that on your paper. So that's number 1, is to write the heading or the date. Number 2 is to write our greeting. So we're going to go to the next line and we're going to write dear and now it's your choice. Who do you want to give this letter to? I'm going to write it to Mr. Anderson, but you could write it to mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or maybe a brother or a sister. So whatever you decide, you're going to write their name after the dear. Like I said, I'm going to write this to Mr. Anderson. So dear Mr. Anderson. Again, don't write Mr. Anderson. And then we actually do a comma. Okay? What we're doing here is we want to let them know why we appreciate them, or maybe why we love them, because on Valentine's Day we usually think of love. So, dear Mr. Anderson, you could start your sentence by saying, thank you Notice I'm using nice, neat handwriting so they can read it. We got to think of something we can say thank you for. Maybe you want to thank them for helping you with your work. Maybe you want to thank them for reading you books. Maybe you want to thank them for making you lunch. But whatever you want to thank them for, you're going to write thank you, and you'll say for, and you'll write what you're thanking them for. I'm going to write thank you for helping me. I look right here. I don't have enough space to write helping. So I'm going to go to the next line. Thank you for helping me. I'm actually going to write with work. So we thanked them for something. Again, you don't have to write helping me with work. We said you could write thank you for making me lunch, thank you for reading books to me, whatever you want to thank this person for, okay? Then we're going to give them a word that describes them. So when I say that, I mean we could say something like, you are so kind. Or maybe you want to say, you are so nice. Or you are so helpful. But I'm going to write, you are so, I'm actually going to write sweet, because I think it's sweet of Mr. Anderson to help me. But like I said, you could write kind or nice or helpful. But I wrote, you are so sweet. We're going to write one more sentence. And the last sentence we're going to tell them is that they make us happy, because that's why you're thanking them. Whatever they did has made you feel happy inside. So we're going to finally say, you make, we're going to use that A, that long A sound there. Look, it's A-E, and that makes it A. You make me happy. If you don't know how to spell happy, you could also say glad. You can look here now. Finally, the last two parts we have to do is the closing and then your signature. Now, they actually gave us the closing part we needed, which was love. So they already gave us a little heart. So we're just going to use the heart as our closing. That just represents love. And then you're going to write your name. So I'm going to write Mrs. Anderson here. Now, you shouldn't write Mrs. Anderson, because this isn't coming from you. Or is it coming from me? It's coming from you. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and read what I wrote. You keep on writing, okay? So we have our date, we have our greeting, we have the body, we have our closing, and then we have our signature. So mine says February 12th, 2021. Dear Mr. Anderson, thank you for helping me with work. You are so sweet. You make me happy. Love, Mrs. Anderson. Friends, if you are still writing at home, it is okay for you to pause the video at this time before I flip the paper over to show you the next part. So again, pause the video if you're not done writing. Our next step is that on the back side, it's an envelope. And we are going to just fill this part out here, okay? So typically you would write the person's full address here. Now, I don't know all of your addresses at home, so we're actually just going to write the person's name. Mr. Anderson. And then the next two lines would actually be to write their address. Now, if this person lives with you, I'm just going to have you write home. Or you can say my house. And then you can write what city that's in if you know. Because the last line is you would write the city and the state and the zip code. Now, I will write a couple of the cities you might live in down here for you so you know how to spell them. But I actually live in Hutchinson. So I would write Hutchinson here. Now, some of you might live in Glencoe. So that's the first one I'm going to write. Okay, so there's Glencoe. I'll zoom in for you, friends. I'll move this up a little bit. So here's Glencoe. Some friends might live in Silver Lake. Okay. Some friends might live in Brownton. Some friends might live in Arlington. And some friends might live in New Auburn. So go ahead. Do you know which of these cities that you live in? And then you'd write that one down. In this spot, you would write your address, but we're just going to write our name because it has a little heart there. So we're going to write love, and I'm going to put a little Mrs. Anderson. But this is typically where you would write your address. But I'm guessing you're giving this to somebody who lives in your household or lives close by. So again, this spot here where I wrote Hutchinson, you're going to write one of these. So it's Glencoe, Silver Lake, Brownton, Arlington, or New Auburn. We'll go on this last line here. Go ahead and pause the video if you still need to write one of these down. Our final step is we're actually going to fold it into a letter. So notice that there is like 3 sections here. I'm going to zoom back out for us. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this part where it would be blank on yours because you don't need to write this down here. I'm going to fold that part in first. I kind of want to fold it on this black line that I see here. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this part down. And it's okay if it's not perfect. You can try to fix it a little bit if you need to. If it helps, you can actually fold this first part just to below the date and then fold this part down. And then you'll see it looks like a letter. We don't want to cut anything out though. So we have the front of the letter and we have the back of the letter. Finally, this is when the sticker comes into play. So I wanted to make sure you could seal your letter still. So to seal it, we're going to kind of put it where these 2 parts overlap. I'll stick the heart there. Ooh, it's kind of hard to see. And then I'm going to fold it so it's attaching. Okay? It's hard to see with that pink one. Let me see if I have a different color. Ooh, I do have a red one. Okay, so again, you'll peel the sticker off. I'm going to place it on the edge. It's a little heart. And then I'm going to fold it over. So then I have it stuck. And then friends, you can go give it to who you want to give it to, whoever you wrote the letter to. And you gave them a little love letter for Valentine's Day. I hope you have fun and I hope they enjoy reading your letter. You did awesome. Also remember to take a picture of it and put it onto Seesaw.